Hi, it's Stacey Archer with Get Cooking, and we are in the kitchen cooking today with our chef Mario Pagan at Chayote. Today, he's going to take us through a recipe that is about zero food waste. In other words, we don't want to waste any ingredients, so Mario was put to the challenge. Come up with a recipe with leftover ingredients and make it a brand new dish.
Certainly. I mean, this is actually a recipe and a dish that we have here at the restaurant. It's called vegan sancocho. Sancocho is a broth with root vegetables, some sofrito. You can do vegetable broth. You can do water. Some people do water. It usually contains some sort of meat, or pork, beef, chicken. It depends on the recipe. There's a Colombian sancocho, there's a Dominican sancocho, and there's a Puerto Rican sancocho. So what we did is that, of course, at this restaurant is a Latin forward restaurant. So we have a lot of Latin root vegetables like yuca, malanga, boniato, that is the sweet potato. We just have plenty of them. So what we're going to do is that what we did is that we created a dish for all the scraps that we had on all those root vegetables to do, and then did the sancocho, but a vegan sancocho, and it's been one of our best sellers, and I'm happy to show you how we do it.
Okay, so let's get to it, chef.
Okay, so let's get to it. So first of all, of course, in every Latin dish, there's a holy trinity that we call sofrito. So sofrito is pretty much cubanelle peppers or green peppers, green bell peppers, some onion, some garlic. Sometimes we have ají dulce, that are sweet peppers that are really small, red and green. Some people put tomatoes. It depends on, everybody has a different sofrito recipe. In this case, we just kept it basic. Some cilantro, some culantro, that is big leaf cilantro, some green bell peppers, in this case cubanelles, some garlic, and some onions. So what we're going to do is that we're going to put them a little bit of olive oil on the spot, and we're just gonna sweat a little bit the sofrito so we get all those flavors oozing out of the pot. And this is pretty much our base. And then what we're going to do, a little bit more oil. And these are all the root vegetables that we have. We have, of course, we need to have carrots. The recipe called for carrots. We have plantains, green plantains. We have malanga or ñame.
What is that? American-wise.
Malanga is cocoa yam. It's called cocoa yam.
Okay.
So it's a white, purplish, tuberish vegetable that we have, that it has a lot of starch content.
Starch to it.
Yeah.
And to your point, these are carrots and sweet potatoes. You have plantain, you have that. But any type of root vegetable could work.
Any type of root vegetable can work, and potatoes actually are great for this.
Great.
So what we're going to do is that we already cut these into whatever size you want to cut them. We poach them, and what we're going to do is that we're going to heat them up a little bit, and we're going to save some of them for presentation. So we're going to take half of the plantains, the sweet potatoes, the carrots that are right here, the malanga, and we have some vegetable broth right here, and we're just going to heat this up because we're going to process this whole thing. Once it gets hot, we're going to bring it up to a boil, and we're going to process the whole thing after that. And I'll take you step by step on what we're doing. So this is a very good dish for winter. Now we're going into the
Yeah, we're getting
really
into that
cold
colder
season.
Yes.
So this is perfect for it. And I think, as I said before to you, as I mentioned, vegetables are overlooked, and they're usually like whatever you have on the side with your proteins. This has no proteins whatsoever, and we're really excited to do
Right,
it.
you
A
make
lot of people love it.
vegetable dish.
Exactly.
I was thinking too,
Little bit
as
of
you
salt.
mentioned, we're getting into the colder season. Squash is something we're seeing a lot in the grocery store. Butternut squash, acorn
Butternut squash, exactly.
I would think that that would also be another item we
Exactly.
could add to this.
Yes. So we have, this is coming to a boil. And what we are going to do is that we're going to also saute a couple of the same vegetables in a little bit of olive oil, because we're going to set the dish a little bit more modern than the traditional way that we do the sancocho. So it's just a little bit of olive oil, the vegetables, and we're going to saute this. We just want to get a little bit crisp, and that's it. And what we did over here, while that's going on, is that we took the sweet potato and we blanched it, then we cut it julienne style, and then we deep fried it. So we can give it a crunch. You can give this crunch to the soup. And usually it's a broth, but what we're going to do is that we're going to mix all these vegetables and we're going to puree them, because I think that that's even better when it's warm, when it's cold, so it can get you warmed up. So we're kind of almost done here. So we're going to take the vegetables, so we're going to put them into a blender. You got to be really careful not to put a lot of broth, because you don't want to get over spilled here, and then, you know, we don't want any accidents happening. So you can smell.
You can smell it. It smells
You can smell the
amazing with the
sofrito and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very comforting. Okay, so you can get this to the consistency that you really like. You can get it really thick or really soft, or however you like it, like a mousse, or, you know, it depends on what you want to do. And if you want it thicker, then you add more vegetables into
Sure.
it.
And what I love about this is not only is it a vegetarian dish, but you're not using any cream. You're not using any dairy
No,
either.
actually, because these root vegetables have so much starch content, that will give me what I need for it to get thicker.
The volume.
Exactly. So I want it a little bit more thicker. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a little bit more of the vegetables. Perfect. I love it. A little bit more oil and a little bit more salt, so we can give it some shine. And we go back at it. A little bit more power to it. And while that's going on, we're gonna take the plate for presentation. And what we're going to do, I want it to get like really, really velvety and soft, so I'm gonna leave it there for a minute or two. Where's my spoon?
Hey, you got more napkins?
I don't know where I put it. So-
It's in the pot, chef.
So we're gonna put all these on one side. And I think we're done over here. And what we're going to do is that we're just going to drop this like so. It's a nice presentation. I mean, it's it's creative, but not creative. You can make it look like really nice. And then we're gonna take this sweet potato crunch and we're gonna put it right on top.
Wow.
And a couple of cilantro leaves just to give it a little bit of color. And that's it.
Great. Well, let's hold that up and get a good shot of that. So call this again.
This is our vegetarian or vegan sancocho. It can go either way with all the kind of root vegetables that you can find, but you can do it with anything that you have lying around in your fridge or pantry. And buen provecho. Enjoy. Let's get cooking.